Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. So we've just finished protecting Scrapper, what fun that was, and we have opened the way into the next temple. Gorko's standing outside ready for us to go in. Link's ready, I'm ready, hope you're ready, because here we go. So here we are inside the Fire Sanctuary. No more of this Earth Temple stuff. We're going straight up fire this time. And it shows. This place looks very, very hot. I'm sure Link is already breaking a sweat. I know I probably would be. The Fire Sanctuary is a really cool dungeon, actually. It's probably one of my favorites up there alongside the Sand Ship. You know, kind of the later temples in the later half of the game are some of the better ones. And this one's going to be a little more complicated as well, so we should have tons of fun for sure. First things first, we're going to get introduced to a little bit of kind of the mechanic that's going on here. You can see this big pool of lava we can't cross. So if we hit this little water plant here, it'll drop, creating this unusually large platform that we can then use to jump across. So obviously we're going to have to be using these little water plant things quite a lot, and here's kind of another example. This time if we hit the water plant, it creates the platform. Since there's a lava flow going on, platform will actually move, and we can use that to get downstream. So yeah, get used to doing that kind of thing. We're gonna have to be dealing with those a lot. If I had any arrows here, I would probably take these guys out, but since I don't, we can just sit here with our shield raised and block pretty much anything that comes our way. They usually miss anyway. It's kind of an advantage of being on a moving platform. Oh man, that was just a guess blocking that. That was pretty cool. Alright, so got an ornamental skull. We know these things. So from here, there's not really too much of a choice where to go. I'm going to be killing some of these guys. I could go back down and get those arrows because I need them. I'm actually completely out at this point. So let's make sure to not knock these guys into the lava so I can get any of their drops. No, none there. And there we go. Looks like we got some. So they drop arrows pretty often, so you're usually not hurting for any. Take out this guy. Once all the enemies here on this upper level are cleared, this little gate will open, and we can open the treasure chest. And since you might have seen the locked door down below, you can guess, yes, this is a small key. So there's this one, it can be a little bit tricky to get around. Obviously, we don't have much of a map yet, and there's only 2 floors. But there are places where you do kind of have to backtrack a little bit. So this is really one of the first maybe like 2 or 3 dungeons that you could actually get a little bit turned around. So we've unearthed this magma here, but Link's head is right in the way, so we can't even see him at all, which is awesome. So yeah, this guy notices our digging mitts, and we're on a quest. Yeah, so this guy's going to introduce himself. His name's Gold. He's the big boss of the Magmas. So he actually invented the mitts we have, which is pretty neat. Alright, so word is there's a huge treasure hidden in the ruins, of course, but no one's ever come back to tell the tale. That's kind of how it is. Like, how does the word spread if no one's ever come back to tell it, right? Alright, so yeah, he's going to tell us not to go ahead, but we're going to do this no matter what I say, pretty much. Alright, so he's going to let us in on a legend. And this is something you probably want to remember for pretty much right at the end of the dungeon, actually. So he says that we need to look for the 2 statues that face one another. If we jump into the mouth of the sleeping statue, the path will open before us. So just a nice little hint to remember. He'll repeat it in case you weren't paying attention. And other Magmas will be found throughout the dungeon. Talk to them if we need to, and we have the go-ahead to continue. So that opening room was kind of just an introduction to the kind of challenges we'll be facing inside, as well as knowing that we'll be seeing a lot of Magmas as well. And this is another thing that I kind of like about this temple, is that as you progress through it, you'll be going back and forth between inside areas and outside open areas like this. And you can see by that little sweeping cinematic that there's quite a lot of stuff outside. So we'll be making our way slowly towards the boss door that's over there. But for now, we just have to go on the one path we can. And of course, we've got some cursed keys here. I guess they're dark keys or something like that. Of course, if they hit you, you'll be cursed. Don't want that. Can't use any weapons or items or anything. So obviously, that would be bad. The good news is they're pretty easy to take out and usually don't bother me too much at all. So there's nothing really to worry about. Got a little fork here. The left path's going to lead upstairs to a little treasure chest. And we can pretty much guess what's going to be in these. There's usually a red rupee in those chests 9 times out of 10. So there you go. Got a nice 20. We can break these if we want. Get some arrows back. There are a lot of arrow drops in pots. So they really make sure that you're basically always stocked up. So at this point, this room is worth remembering for later. You can see there's some water plants inside, but the switch to open it is in there. We can't quite get to it. So just remember that room for later on. And we'll just have to continue ahead for the time being. We're going to get introduced to a new enemy here, which is kind of interesting. I guess we can run around for a little bit, because you can see it's in the lava. And as it gets close to us, it'll kind of appear from it and try to punch us and grab us and all kinds of other things. Don't want that to happen. But if we stand on this little rock here, for whatever reason, he'll just decide to be helpful all of a sudden. Yep. Okay, there he comes. I think he lost me there for a minute. So he'll just be helpful and lift that up for you. Oh, gee, thanks, bud. So I can't tell if he's a bad guy or a good guy, you know. It's hard to get a bearing on him. And, of course, these pots here contain lots of arrows, so just in case you need them. And some more archers. There's a lot of archers in this place. Really just a lot of bokoblins in general, to be honest. They're pretty much the main enemy here. All right, we've also got one across the way here that we want to take out, because we don't want him shooting us while we're on these vines here. Also, the music in this place is really cool. That one little theme that you just heard, like, just keeps kicking in, you know, at different spots. Like, you forget about it for a while, and then you hear that, and it's like, oh, you know, the music's here. That really reminds me of the fire sanctuary, you know, in this game. When I think of that theme, it's just memorable. It's not much, but it's memorable to me. Okay, so there's really still only one way to go at this point. We've got this door ahead of us that's been locked behind, and we actually have a new type of enemy. It's not a completely new enemy. It's basically just a dark Lizalfos, and these guys are essentially the same as their regular counterparts, except they have cursed breath instead of fire breath. And they take just a few more hits to kill. It's 9 in total with our current sword. So really, you can take them out just the same way. They behave exactly the same. So just watch out for their cursed breath, because that would be pretty bad, actually. So there's a shortcut over there that we can't quite get to. We're going to be making that one later, of course. So for now, the door ahead of us is our path forward. Alright, now I've got a lot of these, I forgot what these things are called, like spumes or something. These things will, of course, curse you if they hit you. It seems to be, again, a running theme here. So pretty much anytime you see these guys, you want to take them out first thing with arrows, just so they don't really bother you. There's also a couple guys across the way that you might want to take out, because obviously we are going to be ending up over there. Now at this point, we've got a little tunnel here. You can see that we're going to be able to shoot our hook beetle through. And the blue rupee is kind of the indication. So once we're up here, we're going to grab a bomb flower, avoid the cursed keys, then loop our way back around. And if you see behind Link there in the direction we're heading, there's this statue. Looks like lava's trying to come out of it, but it's blocked with rocks. So once we run a bomb into it, that'll unblock the flow and kind of get the current going here in the main room. Obviously, there's a water plant up top, so you can guess what we're going to need that flow for. And there's, of course, some rupees up there. There's some rupees in a tunnel right across the lava there, but I'm really not going to bother with all that. Money is not a concern at this point, and it just takes time, so we'll just continue forward. Okay, so once we make the platform, we can hop on and then use it to continue our way across. There's a locked door in front of us, but thankfully an unlocked one over to the right, so that's the way we're going to have to go first. And this room is basically just a quick in and out, but you'll get to see something pretty interesting. You can probably already see it. Yeah, check that guy out. He's being held up over the lava. Wouldn't mind a little hot bath, but that's too much. Yeah, I'd say so. And of course, mistakes us for a monster. These guys must not be able to see very well. So he's on some sideshow for us to gawk at. Get lost. Oh, alright. If you insist, I guess. So we're basically only here to do one thing. We've got these little magma piles here that you can blow away with the gust bellows, but you can just walk in between those two. This one, however, you probably want to blow away because you can't get back without it. Here we go. We can open the chest on the other side. Of course, a locked door in the previous room, which means a small key in here. Cool. So yeah, you could use the hook shot on the target back there to actually get over here, but you would need to blow that little magma pile away to get back either way, so it's kind of a moot point. And you can play around with this guy. He doesn't say anything, but I like to hit the chain and act like I'm gonna cut it. He doesn't say anything though. I'm kind of disappointed by that. I think they should have put in a reaction dialogue for you trying to cut the chain, you know? Okay, so in and out. Now we've got our key. Let's go ahead and open the door in front of us. And now we're going to get introduced to a secondary function of these little water plants. Not necessarily with these here. These, however, they are spiky, so if you run into them stupidly, you'll lose a quarter of a heart. It's not much, but you kind of feel like an idiot when you do it, so I would advise not doing it. And as we go this way, the easiest way to take care of this little bunch is just to do a Skyward Strike with a spin attack. That'll take out most of them, so you don't have to worry about it. Nope. Just run around the chest, then open it. And get another 20 rupees. Alright, so as we head up this side here, we can see there's a chest. Also another one of these chews here. As we open this chest, there's nothing too important in here. It's just a random material. Looks like we got an evil crystal this time. Alright, so with this water plant here, you can see it's pretty much right at our level. If we stab it, we can actually get it caught on our sword here, which is pretty neat. And as we go over here, you can see there's another one of these frogs with the flame jets below it. So if we just kind of throw it at the frog and get the water basically around it, that'll activate it and also deactivate the flame jets. So that's pretty cool. You'll have to do that a couple times. There's also a certain enemy that you can only defeat with those later on too. So just a mechanic to keep in mind. Obviously you wouldn't be able to proceed without it, so oh well. Oh, I hit the side of the wall there when trying to hit him. Bird statue, don't really need it. Let's continue forward. So we still haven't really gotten to the complicated parts of this dungeon yet. This is where we're going to have to use those water plants yet again. You can see we've actually got 2 of those lava hands this time. So first things first, let's go ahead and just stand on this platform. There's really nothing we can do to these guys in our current state. However, you can see there are some water plants up here, so let's go ahead and stab one. And then get down below and pretty much just kind of bait these guys, get them to come up. And if you do this just right, you can actually... There we go, get it to affect both of them at the same time. Once they're hardened, just do a couple attacks, and that'll take them down. Hey, that was pretty efficient. So just 4 hits or a couple spin attacks will take them down. Once they've been defeated, the lava will drain. And both doors open up. And of course, the magma in the other room saw our exploits. Really socked it to those lava fingers. Yeah, pretty much. And ask us to get him down. Well, I guess. You said I wasn't supposed to be in there and told me to leave the first time, but, well, I guess he's changed his tune a little bit. So as we go down here, we've got a couple holes to dig, nothing too important, but the wall switch is here. Once we do this, this will let him get down. And he's saved. Cool. You know, that layout kind of makes me, yeah, we're here for treasure. Sure, why not? Make this guy happy. So it kind of makes me wonder what their plan was for, getting him down in the first place, because that was completely covered in lava, you know? So, I don't know. It seems like that would be impossible to get to the switch at that point, I guess. But, oh well, I'm sure they had something in mind. Alright, so he's going to give us a chest as a reward, and he's already mentioned that these are new mitts for us. So he's out of here so long. Alright, see ya, bud. So let's go ahead and get our reward. And the mitts inside are basically the dungeon item for this place. These are the magma mitts. Even the magmas don't see digging mitts this fancy very often. They also let us burrow our way underground, so it's kind of an upgrade to the gloves that we had before. We can, of course, still just dig as normal. However, there are certain holes, like this one, after this little scene. Just kind of showing us the next room, I guess, even though we could look in ourselves. But this hole right here, it's a little bit bigger, and if we, you can see A is actually burrow on this one. So if we do that, we can dig our way underground and start crawling around. It's kind of cool, actually. This is a pretty neat little mechanic, you know, unique to the Zelda series, and pretty cool if you ask me. So yeah, we can go in all kinds of different directions. It can be a little bit tricky facing the correct way, though, because you can't do a 180. But once we get up here, he's going to tell us a little bit of more stuff. And if we want to look above ground, we can press Z. So yeah, we can hold that and just get a little overview of where we are. It's only really helpful in very few places, but it's worth remembering all the same. So we can hit this bomb flower up and it'll blow away those rocks. We can also come over here if we want, grab some rubies. I mean, they're free, so you know, might as well. Alright, so our destination is up there to the north, where you can see there's the little column of light. As we make our way over there, we can burrow up and into the next section. So yeah, we're going to be doing that a few times in this place. It's pretty cool. There's also going to be some various wrenches thrown in here and there, so just some stuff to watch out for. I think we're going to get introduced to one of them here. After we blow away this little magma pile, there's another place we can burrow into. Yeah, so this time as we head around to the left, you can see there's this little mechanism here waiting for us. If we go over to the red side, we can hit it, and that'll actually move the gate as well. So we're just skipping solving the puzzles and just manually opening the gates ourselves. That's pretty cool. So yeah, just a couple little basic crawling sections, nothing too complicated here. It's also worth remembering there's a bird statue and a locked door here. This room we're not going to be able to unlock that door for a little while, so it's one you're going to have to keep in mind. But at this point, we can just continue on through our newly opened path and through the door ahead. Alright, now first things first, if we want, we can take this guy out. And if we step on the switch over here, this will open up a shortcut that we saw earlier. So that'll give us a little bit of extra mobility. We are actually going to be using this one later on too. So I guess we could have just waited till then, but whatever. Okay, so now our first priority is taking these guys out, obviously, so we can get across. There we are. There's also one above us, but if you're quick enough, he can't do anything, so we'll just skip him. Go, and as we look back, see, he's right there. So let's just drop down and hurry up and get out of the way here. And it looks like we've got another magma hanging up here. This guy's not even over magma or anything, though, so it's a little less threatening. Sorry, man, I'm in a hurry. Can't you just, like, figure this out yourself? Will tell us, ooh, a big, gigantic secret about the room. Oh, man, it's about treasure. Oh, wow, this sounds almost too good to be true. Well, let's help the poor guy out anyway, I guess. Of course, we got another frog statue here with flame jets below it, so we're going to have to do a little work. These are the kinds of gates that can be moved. You can also go in here and dig a spot. These aren't really too much, just a couple hearts. So get those if you need them, I guess. And the way to solve this room is to head over to this dirt pile on the left, and we will be able to burrow in from there. Now, we're going to actually have a couple of statues, or a couple of gates we're going to have to move. So we're going to have to do these in the right order so we don't block ourselves in. I think it is actually possible to get blocked in, and you have to like go back and hit the other switch again. It can be kind of annoying. So I hope I'm remembering this right. So let's go ahead and get the top one, and that'll move everything down a bit. Then as we, okay, I think this is, yeah, this is the one where I have actually, I think, blocked myself in from where I need to go, because I think the switch, yeah, see, because it's on the other side. So I'm going to have to go back and undo that and hit the bottom one first. I couldn't remember if it was the top or the bottom that I needed to hit first, but I guess now we know. So we'll just go down here and hit this one to the right first. Then we can come back up and do what we did before. Alright, so now that we've hit that gate, we're good to go. We've just got to make our way back. Okay, and we are out. Cool. So that took a little bit longer than it needed to because of my not remembering correctly, but oh well. Okay, so now that we've moved both gates out of the way, the first one was over here to the right, and the second one has now moved from the right to the left in the direction we're facing, and this will get us access to a water plant. Really, that's all that was for, was to just let us get in there. So now we can take this and toss it at the frog, deactivating the flame jets below. So now we can get in here, and it's pretty straightforward. Just pull the wall switch, and that will free the magma. That's the sweet, sweet flavor of freedom, Haas. Yeah, pretty much. And of course, now he's gonna call us a sucker. You really think I'd divulge super secret info? My mama didn't raise no patsy. Oh, come on, man. It's about like honor or something, right? You know, don't you have any of that? So yeah, he notices our gloves. Yeah, we actually helped out your brother. How do you feel now? So now he's got something he wants to give us, of course. And hey, it's another treasure chest. So this apparently is super secret info that he put together. Took some real sweat and work. And, oh, it's like this. Right around here, there's a hidden room. And then the dots. I love the dots afterwards. Like, it was so underwhelming. So return, don't tell anyone. Okay, fine. It's a secret. Nope. So he looks back and notices his, I guess that's his brother, has come back up. So this is, we meet again. Yeah, what a coincidence. So he happened to overhear our conversation, just giving us a hard time. Well, that's alright. We're kind of used to it at this point, you know. So apparently the stuff he's saying was all true. There's a breeze somewhere. And of course, information in the chest will be useful. So let's go ahead and open it. Inside the chest, we find the dungeon map. It's kind of an unconventional way to get the dungeon map. Usually it's just sitting there and we open it up, but we actually have to save the magma to get it this time. Go figure. Now that kind of makes me wonder if this would be doable without actually saving him, you know, because you don't really need the dungeon map to be able to beat this place if you already know where to go. So I wonder if you could just leave him hanging there. That'd be pretty funny if you could. I've never tried it. I kind of want to, but oh well. So if we can consult our map, if we take a close look at the room we're in, you can see it looks like there's a passageway leading off to the east here. So all we got to do is get one of our bomb flowers and drop them. And eventually it'll blow up, revealing a path behind it. So there's not much in here. If you take a look to the left and look up, you can see there is actually some stuff over there, but this is kind of like slanted out, so we can't do anything. We're going to have to dig underground. So first things first, let's go ahead and grab the Red Rupee. And as we start heading a little bit further here, you can't quite see it yet. Let's go ahead and make our way a little further up. Wow, check this thing out. Yeah, there are actually enemies down here. Really, this is the only type of enemy you ever encounter. Obviously, the weak spot is the giant orange glowy thing on his back. And if he seizes you, he'll charge at you. That's pretty much it. Usually I avoid those guys unless it's absolutely forced that you defeat them, which it is later. But for the most part, I tend to just stay away. They're much more trouble than they're worth, really. Okay, so make sure you turn around and grab the treasure chest back here. And finally, we get a small key. You remember that locked door earlier, right? That's where we're going to have to head back to now. Alright, so we can climb the vines, make our way back around, and we'll find out that we pretty much just end up right back where we started. That's where we dug underground, so go figure. Now we're going to have to do a little bit of backtracking. But at this point, we're actually going to make a little bit of a pit stop along the way. And we're not quite going back to our destination just yet. Let's go ahead and take this guy out. Again, he can't really do anything if you're fast enough, but I just feel safer without him there. Alright, so now that we're on the other side of the bridge, this is the door that we want to go to advance. This is the one that has the locked door behind it. However, we're going to turn to the left here and continue back to an earlier area. And turn left again and head on down the bridge. and go in here. Now, once we do so, we have been in here before, of course, but as we turn to the left, we can see there is one of these gates that can be moved underground and a place to dig. So since we didn't have these mitts the first time we came through, we couldn't quite do this yet, but now we can. So we want to back up here and turn to the right. Make our way through. You can see the switch is just on the top end. This is fairly straightforward. Alright, then we can emerge and continue forward.